Welcome back, Roadrunners. I'm Carolee. I'm the graphics editor at the Paisano, and today I am at CPS Energy headquarters, and today we will be interviewing CEO Rudy Garza and discussing the Texas power grid. I am here with the CEO of CPS Energy, Rudy Garza, and we are here to interview him about the power grid this winter and what Texans can do. So, the first question was what concerns about the winter power grid do you have this season?
So, over the last few years since Winter Storm Uri, we've done a lot of work to ensure that, we don't find ourselves in that same situation again. Most of the time, if there's going to be a challenge for the grid in the winter, it's going to be because the whole state of Texas is under freezing, which doesn't happen often. Sometimes you have North Texas, that's freezing, or West Texas that's freezing, but very rarely do you see the entire state of Texas having a problem. In that instance, the load is higher, so the usage is higher, and you have to start worrying about gas wells freezing. Gas is a primary fuel for power plants. So I think we've done a good job to have the maximum amount of power plants available during the winter, which was one of the issues during Winter Storm Uri. I still, at times, there will be issues with our gas supply. That means that you don't have enough fuel to run through your power plants. So when that happens, it's usually because the entire state of Texas is under a freeze. So there is risk. I think that risk is is a lot less than what it's been over the last few years ago. But you never know. It just depends on how cold the winter might be.
What methods has CPS Energy done for maintaining the power grid even during the summer?
Well, number one, I actually have to sign declarations that go to the state that say we have done all the maintenance required of us to ensure our power plants are ready for the extreme, times of the year. So both in the summertime and in the wintertime, we actually have to go through and qualify that all the maintenance on our list has been done, so the power plants are ready. So that means during the summertime, in the spring, we take plants offline, kind of one at a time here and there, to do the work that needs to be done so they're ready for the summer. And after the summer, and this summer we ran our plants really, really hard because of how hot it was. Now we're taking plants offline between October and kind of mid-December to be able to get our plants ready for the winter. So not only are we spending more on plant maintenance, but we also actually have to declare to the state that we have done our jobs.
What have y'all done to make sure that the reliability of natural gas supplies stays reliable and stays not frozen or anything?
Well, so it's a great question, and it's one of my kind of key priorities right now. We have diversified our gas suppliers to the point where we have a lot more options on getting gas into our system especially for the winter, even for the summer. But winter is more important because a lot of people use gas for heating, right? So when it's cold, they really need that gas to show up to heat their houses up. So we've diversified our gas supply. We have actually contracts for gas storage, so that we take and we set gas aside so that if the market gets tight or the prices go up, we can pull gas out of storage to run through our system. And so we maintain a good amount of gas storage. So we've increased gas storage, and we're in the process right now of diversifying where in the state our gas is coming from. So right now, primarily our gas comes from the Permian Basin out in West Texas, or from the Houston Ship Channel, what we call Waha gas. What we're trying to do is get more gas out of South Texas, so that if West Texas, gets cold and the wellheads start freezing up and cause us problems, we have a different, place in Texas that we can, get the gas from. So that work will probably be done over the next year. We're hopeful by next summer we'll be getting more gas out of the South. But for now, those are kind of the three things that we're doing to put us in a good position on our gas supply.
Nice. Thank you so much. And do you think Texans should prepare for power disruptions this winter season?
I feel pretty good that we're going to be able to get our job done. I mean, we have a meteorologist here at CPS Energy, so we have really accurate and up-to-date information on what to expect. Because of, the El Nino cycle that we're in, we're expecting a shorter but cold and wet winter. That's kind of the pattern that we're in right now. So it might get really, really cold, but it's not going to be really, really cold for a long time. So I feel good that, we'll do the work that we need to do to prepare, to take care of San Antonio. If ERCOT gets into a situation where we're short on power, then that affects everybody. So I can't control what's happening outside of San Antonio, but what I feel good about is that we will be prepared. And I think overall, I feel good that we've done enough over the last few years from a policy standpoint that, ERCOT will be okay. But I will say this, I think every customer has to have a plan, for what happens if we have, a supply issue, which causes, a rolling outage, condition across the state. So, everybody should know, have options on maybe going to a family's house that has, that may not be affected, to have, supplies, to have water, to have food, to have blankets, to have the things that they need in the event that there's, an outage. So, again, it's always good to be prepared for that, but I feel good that we're going to get our jobs done.
Let's say customers are needing to use their energy more. Will they expect a cost, a raise in cost?
So that's not really how we price, for power. What happened last go round, our customers didn't see an immediate price increase because the market got tight. We buy, our fuel in advance. We have pretty firm contracts. In the event that there's some market disruption, we have tools that we use to kind of smooth those costs over. So San Antonio, there are other areas of the state where you do see, really drastic price increases if the market, goes haywire. But we manage it a lot differently here in San Antonio so that our customers aren't impacted. So I don't anticipate some big price spike because we have some issue this winter.
That's great. And how does CPS Energy plan to continue to communicate with all Texans, but especially, San Antonians about what's going on in the power grid and just staying up to date?
So we actually have a conservation, kind of condition, a color-coded system that we send out to our customers almost every day when we're in the extreme times of the year that say, hey, we're in a green day, which means that, everything's good, or we're in a yellow day, you should conserve, but only do it voluntarily. Or we're in an orange day saying, hey, we may be a little constrained in the market today, so you might really want to do the things that we need you to do to help us, conserve energy. Or ERCOT is in a, extreme condition and you may be impacted with a rolling outage of some time. That's a red day. So we use that color-coded system to kind of send signals to our customers on what's going on. And that's actually been a really big, I think, step forward for us with how we're communicating with our customers.
That's great. That sounds amazing. And how will customers be able to see these outages and get updates? Will they be on the website or anything?
All of the above. So we will be, communicating with the media. Typically if we're in a situation where there's some emergency going on, you will see me standing next to the city manager and, our elected officials, informing the community on what action they need to take to stay safe. We'll put stuff out on social media. All of our folks will go out and start talking to different news outlets. So, and we even have what we call a customer response unit that, for vulnerable populations in our community, they'll actually go out into the community and start knocking on doors to let them know what's going on. So, we work really hard to try to reach everybody wherever they might be to make sure that they understand what's going on.
If there is a power outage or how you were saying, those how you could send people out, what resources would be available for almost everyone?
Yeah, depending upon what's going on, we might send a mobile unit out to a particular neighborhood where customers can come by, get a cup of coffee, get some water, charge their cell phones, if they need to. So we do things like that take resources right out in the community, and then we work really hard to connect with the city and the county and our partner agencies across town. Because they'll typically, if it gets really cold, where people have to worry about their being cold in their homes, they'll open up community centers where folks can go, warming centers where folks can go to get warm. So we work hard to get that information out there, and actually, in some cases, you'll see that those locations show up on our outage map, so folks know where the closest location is that they can go to their neighborhoods.
That's great. And some of the last questions are, we did notice that you said to San Antonio Express News about possibly shutting down one of the remaining coal plants by 2028. Is there any new information you can add on that, or even just talking about it, even if you mentioned it before, just letting students know?
Yeah, so we have a climate action and adaptation plan here in San Antonio that where we're trying, to do our part to lower our carbon footprint and help with the effects of climate change. Regardless of what you believe about climate change, weather patterns are getting more extreme for whatever reason, and so we've committed as part of our overall generation plan to move away from coal, which is something that our community has said is important to them, and so we'll be shutting down the older of our two coal units, Spruce 1, by 2028, and we're in the process of starting the engineering work to convert the Spruce 2 unit from a coal unit to a natural gas unit. So, over the next 5 years, CPS Energy will be getting out of the coal business. We're investing in solar. We're investing in battery storage. We'll continue to invest in natural gas, which is a cleaner, burning fuel that will help us, continue to move our carbon footprint in the right direction. So we're doing the things that we need to do that the community expects out of us. And again, it's part of our Vision 2027 strategy to get that work done, to move away from coal and, to find some cleaner sources.
That's amazing. And what challenges have y'all faced with that, or backlash or anything?
Well, there's no backlash. I mean, the biggest challenge we have is just resources we need to get the work done. So, when I go into city council and our board and ask, to review our rates to ensure that we have what we need to get this work done, nobody likes a rate increase. But, it's necessary when you're trying to make these big investments, to accomplish goals that the community told us are important to them. It requires resources. And so the biggest challenge, in a community like San Antonio that is 60% low, moderate income, community, nobody wants to pay more for electricity or natural gas, but it's necessary to get this work done. So that's probably the biggest challenge. And that's why we try, rather than come in with these huge rate increases, we try to come in every couple of years with smaller rate increases. So, we can lessen the impact to our customers over time. So that's kind of the goal, but it's always hard work to get one of those done.
Great. And the last question is, how is CPS planning to address the concerns raised by ERCOT CEO Pablo Vegas about the state's fleet of aging gas and coal-fired plants being replaced too quickly by renewables?
Well, first off, Pablo is a friend of mine, and he was a really great hire by ERCOT, and I have confidence that he's going to get us he's doing his part to make sure that our system is reliable. All the situation that we're in is no different than what's going on across the rest of the state. Every utility has old gas steam units, just like we do, that need to be retired, and that's going to take resources, just like I said, to build new plants. You got to build the new plant before you can retire the old plant, and that takes money. So every utility in the state is in the same position. If they don't feel like they're going to make money on the market by building a new gas plant, they're not going to build the plant. So we've seen that over the last decade. No new natural gas plants, not a lot, maybe 1,500 megawatts, have been built. So we're getting further and further behind. As Texas grows, we're not growing our generation base, which is why we get tight in the summer and the winter times, when the load is high. So the state of Texas, the legislature, has to get involved in policy that are going to move us in the right direction. I think CPS Energy is ahead of where the rest of the state is in terms of our planning process. But again, if I don't have resources to actually accomplish what we've said we wanted to do, then we're going to have a challenge, right? And we're going to just get further and further behind. So the state's in a tough spot right now. Power plants aren't getting built for whatever reason, and we got to do something about that.
Great. That is all the questions we had, but is there anything else you would like to add or just let Texans know?
Well, first thing I want to add is I think that young people, especially our college students, have to pay attention to what's going on, in the energy space. I'm glad that y'all are here asking me these questions. My hope is to maybe do a symposium of some kind, where students can come in and we can speak to them and, do Q&A with them. Because, ultimately, my hope is that folks who are going through school right now will want to come to work for CPS Energy someday and will, help us figure out how to get some of these new technologies that are out there that'll move us away from fossil fuels, going. So I think I'd just like to encourage, the students at UTSA and every other college, across this country to get involved, to pay attention to what's going on, and to develop their own opinions about these things. Yeah.
Great. That is all we had today. Thank you all for watching, and please subscribe.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Click our logo to subscribe or click the videos for more from the Paisano. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts and what you'd like to see us cover next.